Let's take a brief look at the Gage Sniper Pack DLC. This was the third weapon pack released for Payday 2 and, as the title alludes, introduced the concept of sniper rifles to the game. And sure, we had sniper-esque DMRs such as the M308 prior, but proper piercing precision powerhouses that can slice clean through walls, shields, and multiple targets weren't around until this DLC was. I did review this pack in the past, however, with a multitude of rebalances affecting enemy health, difficulties, weapon stats, and the skills revolving around marksmanship, I felt it apt to revisit this pack to see how it holds up today. The rifles in this pack fall into three classes, and we'll start with the lightweight Rattlesnake sniper rifle. Despite being the lowest damage rifle this DLC provides, it's by no means an underperformer. You've still got power aplenty to eliminate normal enemies on all difficulties in one shot, and dispatch of all but the most heavily armored specials in two. Backed up by a booming ammo economy in all departments, magazine pickup and pool, a swift reload, a relatively high rate of fire, shockingly workable concealment. Frankly, if you're simply in the market for a reliable long-ranged head popper, you needn't look further. I'm not saying it's the best sniper rifle, that depends on what you're trying to accomplish. However, if you're looking to control swaths of SWAT, and have a higher caliber secondary weapon such as a shotgun or grenade launcher to handle specials, the Rattlesnake will work like a charm. Snake charm? If special enemies are proving pesky and you're willing to cut some corners, the R93 sniper rifle may pack the extra punch you're looking for, offering nearly double the damage boasted by the Rattlesnake. This isn't without its downsides though. You're giving up an extra 10 rounds in reserve and 4 rounds in the clip for the ability to reliably one-shot most specials on all difficulties. Personally, I'm not all in on that proposal, especially when the only other upside this weapon offers is higher base accuracy, all but irrelevant when skills and modifications easily maximize the accuracy on all the rifles in this pack. Regardless, I'd hesitate to knock the R93 in its entirety. While its pickup rate isn't quite as forgiving as its Serpent substitute, provided you take your time to line up your shots and take sniper skills such as graze and ammo efficiency to maximize your bullets spent to heaven sent ratio, this rifle's an ample choice for mayhem or above, although it's a bit overkill on overkill and below. Speaking of which, the final weapon this pack provides is the Thanatos 50 cal, a gargantuan anti-material rifle boasting the highest damage of any sniper in the game at 3,500. Almost no enemies can withstand a single body shot from this beast, let alone a headshot. Those who survive will find themselves with one foot in the grave. With a pull of its trigger, the Thanatos will wipe out half the health of all bulldozers in the universe, and in another 2 to 3 shots he can finish the job. And of course, if the faceplate is already removed, that's one shot, one kill. On top of this, it's the one weapon that can comfortably and reliably handle SWAT turrets, which is less of a testament to this weapon's power and more to how BS turrets are, but that's neither here nor there. However, all this raw power isn't without cost. 5 rounds in the mag, a mere 15 in reserve, and piddling pickup rate bring this weapon's real downsides home. Not to mention you have no real hope of a dodge build in sight. There isn't really a good reason to use the Thanatos unless you seriously take issue with turrets and dozers. You can 1 to 2 shot most enemies with any of the other rifles in this pack, and with far more ammo in all regards. It's just damage for the sake of damage, but in a game of min-maxing, once you're already reliably eliminating your targets, why would you need more damage? Especially with all these downsides. Back in the old days of One Down, when enemies were damage sponges and weapon DPS values across the board were lower, the Thanatos had a very real purpose. As it stands now though, in nearly all situations, you're better off with pretty much any other sniper rifle. At least that's how I feel. Maybe you think differently? Let me know in the comments below. Either way, let's move on to the rest of this pack's content. No melee weapons this time around, thankfully, but we have 2 weapon mods available for all sniper rifles, both in this pack and in general. The angled sight is a gadget much like a laser or flashlight that gives you a, well, angled sight upon activation. This in effect allows one to toggle between iron sights and a scope. Now, personally, I don't find any particular value in this as I'm more than comfortable hip firing for close range encounters. However, if you'd rather have a more reliable visual guide than a laser, particularly if you intend to make use of the next mod in this pack, the angled sight may prove of use to you. That other mod, by the way, being the Theia magnified scope. Default sniper sights have fairly long range zoom, however, the Theia zoom allows targets at intense distance to become clearly visible. In addition, the rangefinder will display exactly how far away the target you're fixated on is, useful for achievements or skills that rely on distance or simply bragging rights. And to top it all off, the Theia will automatically highlight any special enemies unfortunate enough to pass through your crosshairs. This makes the scope a godsend for the Thanatos in particular, as its best use case is special enemy elimination. You'll just need to find a good perch to create enough distance between you and your target. Which brings me to the final gameplay feature of this DLC, Vantage Points. On a fair number of heists, anyone who owns the Gage Sniper Pack can purchase the Vantage Point asset for all players to make use of. These are locations positioned high above and or far away from the action, allowing you to rain death from above with any sniper of your choosing. Typically a zip line and or ladder will be used to scale up to these heights. However, cops can climb their way up to you as well, so it's not a perfectly safe haven. Regardless, provided you have other players who are willing to complete objectives for you, Vantage Points are a great place to provide covering fire and special target elimination. Oh, and before I forget, let's check out this DLC's masks. Acylidai, Sphaudra Mantis, Tarantula, and Vespula. I hate bugs. I hate spiders. They're creepy and crawly and yeah. So I don't care for these masks, but they're by no means bad and are likely a treat for the thicker-skinned entomologists among us. And that's just about everything. So was the Gage Sniper Pack a good addition? Completely. While there are now alternatives to some of this pack's content, free or otherwise, the variety, creativity, and usefulness of this DLC's additions cannot go overlooked. The Rattlesnake and R93 make for great general use snipers. The Thanatos, while less useful than it once was, did nothing wrong, and namely for me, the Vantage Points offer a creative, different approach to many heists that can be shared with teammates without them needing to own the DLC themselves. If it were still a standalone DLC, considering Payday 2's current balance, I'd hesitate to recommend one rush out to purchase it at full price, as other options are readily available. However, as just another part of Ultimate Edition, it's hard to discount the fresh and powerful style of gameplay the Gage Sniper Pack introduced. That'll be it from me, and hey, maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'd appreciate it. Either way, thanks for watching, and take it easy!